Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of my Bluetooth in Action series. My name is James Langbridge, and today we'll be continuing our luggage application, adding one final feature before releasing version 1.0. In the previous episode, we worked on the power LED. Now we need to sort out the alarm. Now of course, this application is designed to warn you if your luggage is stolen, but there are situations where you do not want the alarm to go off. For example, if your mobile telephone runs out of batteries, you don't want the entire airport terminal looking at you because your luggage alarm went off. Since there is no way for our application to know if the luggage was stolen or if the disconnect was caused by an external event, we'll add a small feature. Just like the power LED, we'll blink the alarm, turning it on briefly and then back off 5 times. Once the warning period is over, the alarm will turn on constantly. So first of all, let's clean up our code. We'll be adding a second timer, so let's make sure that the first one is more readable. Let's have a look at our code. We set up a soft timer right here. Now, does anybody remember what the parameters were for the timer? I'm not 100% sure and I wrote it. So let's look back at the documentation. And as we can see, the hardware set soft timer accepts handle as the second parameter. In this episode, we'll probably be doing a lot of copying and pasting, so let's write that differently. We could create a variable, something called alarm handle, assign it, and then use that to differentiate, but there is another way. Since its value will never change, let's use a const. We declare at the beginning, assign a value, and we're good to go. So, right here, const, and we're going to call that power handle equals 0. Okay, now I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste that as the second parameter here, here, and I believe there was a fourth one, yes, where I disabled the timer. And there we go, that makes things more readable. Now, as I said, we're going to be creating another soft timer. All timers use the same event code, which is down here, hardware soft timer, which means that we're going to be having code which looks like if handle equals something, then end if. So all of this is going to be inside here, which means that's an if, inside an if, inside an if. Now this is going to be unreadable. So we're going to be using something known as procedures. When we call a function, for example our timer, hardware sets off timer, we're actually telling our application to run code inside a procedure. So we can put part of our code inside a procedure and call that. It just makes things easier to read. There are, however, rules to procedures, and just to let you know, I'm going to start by showing you what you should not do. I'm going to create a procedure called manage power LED. There are no parameters. End. And all of this is going to go inside here. Clean that up just a little bit. There we go. Now, inside here, we're going to do call manage power LED. Now, if handle equals what we just created our handle, it's called power handle. Let's copy that. If handle equals power handle, then we run all the code that concerns the power LED. In theory, that should work, but I'm going to save this, and we're going to see that it does not work. So /anti// bin bg build luggage.bgproj, enter, and it fails. Script compiler failed. Call manage power LED. Manage power LED is not defined, but it is. It's right here. One thing you must know is that if ever you call something, that something must be written before. So I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to put that right at the very beginning of our file, just before system boot. Now, if I save this, what have I done? Thank you. If I save this time, and if I try that again, this time it's going to say all okay. We can call the function and we know where it is. Okay, so that's off to a good start. Now, as I said, we're going to be creating a second soft timer. So, first things first, let's add another const. This one is going to be called alarm handle, sounds good, equals 1. What are we going to do? When a disconnect event occurs, we are going to create another soft timer. So let's copy this. Let's have a look at disconnect. Where am I? Oh, it's actually in there. We'll put that down here. It's not called power handle, it's called alarm handle. We're going to run that after 32,768, so 1 second. So when someone disconnects, we're going to set an alarm that's going to go off in 1 second with the handle alarm handle. This one deactivates power handle. So in theory, we have two handles. In the timer event, we're going to have something that looks like if handle equals, and I said that's going to be called alarm handle right here. Then do something, and if. What are we going to do? Well, we've already created a procedure called manage power LED. Let's create another one just underneath called manage what? Manage alarm. End. So when the timer occurs, if handle equals alarm handle, then we call manage alarm with no parameters. Okay. If it's the power handle that triggers, we do manage power LED. If it's the alarm handle that triggers, we do manage alarm. Great. Now inside here, we're going to do more or less the same thing as inside manage power LED. So that means we need to know if the alarm is set or not. So we need another variable right here, and we're going to call this one alarm status. We're going to go inside here, set up variables. We're going to say 0, the alarm is currently off. So same thing as before, if connected equals 0, well, if alarm status equals 0, if the alarm is off, we do all this, else the alarm is on, we do this, and if. What exactly are we going to do? If the alarm is off, we need to turn the alarm on. So turn on alarm LED. Now, as before, that's not going to live inside the disconnect function anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to paste it here. If the alarm is off, we turn it on. If the alarm, on the other hand, is on, then we turn it off. So far, so good. However, I don't want it to be on for 1 second and off for 1 second. I want it to be on more or less like this. Let's say 1/10 of a second, then off for 1 second. That sounds good. So once again, we're going to do this call hardware sets of timer. So just as we did here, if our alarm is on, then we call this for 1/10 of a second. If it's off, we leave it off for 1 second, and then we call it again. Now, just to be able to know, we need to tell our program that the alarm has been turned on, and right here equals 0. Okay, so let's go through that again. If the alarm is off, we turn the alarm on, we tell the program that the alarm is on, and we call our timer for 1/10 of a second. If, on the other hand, the alarm is not off, which means it's on, we call a function to turn it off. We say to our program that the alarm is off, and we call our timer for 1 second. So that's going to go beep for 1/10 of a second off again, but we want to do that 5 times. We don't want to do that anymore. So what are we going to do? Well, we need another variable for a start. So dim alarm, what are you going to call this? Alarm count. And where we set up our variables, alarm count equals 0. We haven't done this before. Okay. Now, where can we put this? Well, how about right here? If alarm count equals 5, else, and if. So, if our alarm has been triggered 5 times, we are going to copy this. We're going to paste it here, and as we saw in the previous episode, to turn off an alarm, we just put 0. So if the alarm was off, it's turned on. If the alarm has already been turned on 5 times, then we leave it on. We no longer call this function. Otherwise, this goes here. Let's clean that up just a little bit. Okay, if we haven't called it 5 times, the alarm is turned on, and we set it for another 1/10 of a second. Well, this now looks like version 1.0 is complete, so let's save that. Let's compile it one last time to see if everything's good. All okay? Great. Let's test this out. Okay, so it's time to test out our application. Now I've already connected, so let's disconnect and see what happens. Disconnect event. Blinks once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoops, something's wrong. I have a pretty good idea what went wrong there. So yes, I did indeed forget to do something. In this line, we see if alarm count equals 5. The only problem is I never increment it. So we test here if it's equals 5. Now let's put that right here. If the alarm is already on, we turn it off and we say that it was on once, or at least once more. Okay, let's save that. Now let's compile and flash that. Flashing, erasing. Okay, let's see how that one works out. Okay, let's try that again. So let's connect. We are connected, and let's disconnect. And see how this goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the alarm is now on permanently. Perfect. It works much better when I put in variables. Once again, we've hit that wrapping up point, and we've also finished our application. You now have everything you need to create your own luggage protection system, so have fun, and let me know what you came up with. I'll be posting this code to my GitHub account. I'll put a link in the comments below. Also, let me know what you'd like for the next episodes. I'll be continuing the Bluetooth in Action series, but would you prefer me to show you one project per video, or continue this Let's Dev series? Let me know what you'd prefer in the comments below. In the meantime, this is James Langbridge signing off. I hope you liked the episode. If you did like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, that would help me out a lot. And also don't forget to comment on project ideas we can do together. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye bye!